Drawing insects and animals, art lesson with Ms. Boley. So in this video, we're going to be drawing a spider. So we have already worked on drawing and coloring a bee and a butterfly, and now we're gonna do spider. So why are we doing this? Well, we're trying to draw from observation and develop the eyes of an artist. We are trying to make our drawings look more realistic by using contrast, shading, and overlapping. And we're showing our understanding of symmetry through our artwork, and also showing what we know about insects and animals in our artwork. So what are we going to need? You'll need a picture of a spider to look at. So I've provided a picture of a hobo spider on Google Slides. You'll need a piece of paper or your visual journal, a pencil, an eraser, sharpener, and other colorful materials. So in the video, I'm going to use markers and pencil crayons. So here's some terms. These are a review from the previous 2 lessons. So shading, overlapping, contrast, and symmetry. So let's get started with our spider drawing. So I have my sheet of paper and it's in up and down portrait orientation. And just like the last time, I know it's hard to see because I drew it so lightly, but I drew a line going down in the middle of my page to be my line of symmetry. And then I'm going to start out by drawing the spider's head. So I am going to draw a light oval and then 2 little bumps, which I then joined into be kind of like one long oval shaped bump. Okay, and then I'm going to draw these little things coming out. And I did sort of 3 bumps, long oval shaped bumps to make those. So now I'm going to move on to doing the spider's abdomen. So I'm doing a long oval shape, a lot longer than the other oval. And then a little upside down M for the spinneret at the bottom there. And I'm just now fixing up and just going over the oval to make it a bit more symmetrical. So same size and shape on each side. All right, so now I'm drawing these little bumps. I've drawn 4 on each side of the second oval there. I think that part is called the cephalothorax, and actually that smaller bump on the top is the spider's head. So those little bumps that I drew are where the spider's legs are going to come out of. So how I drew the spider's leg was that I drew a kind of really long skinny oval and another long skinny oval on top, and then another long skinny oval on top. So it kind of looks like the spider's legs have about 4 sections. So if we zoom in, we'll look closely at this one leg. So a long skinny oval, another long skinny oval, a third long skinny oval, and then a small kind of little hook section on the bottom. And so I'm kind of just fanning out the spider's legs. It doesn't look exactly the same as the picture, but I'm trying to actually make it look a little bit more symmetrical than in the picture. So there we go. I'm going to now repeat that process and try to draw 4 legs on the other side of the spider. So if yours are not perfectly symmetrical, that is totally fine, because when spiders are crawling and walking around, their legs don't look exactly symmetrical. I am, however, trying to make them the same length, so each one of the legs will still have the 4 little segments. So I'm using 4 long skinny oval shapes, 3 really long ones and 1 shorter one for each of the legs. So I'm speeding through the drawing of the rest of the spider legs, but feel free to pause the video as you draw all 8 of your spider's legs. Okay, so now I've noticed on my reference picture that this type of spider, the hobo spider, does have some sort of markings on its back, and I noticed some eyes, I thought. So I drew some circles for the eyes. And then it kind of looked like a little upside down M with a long, skinny sort of hot dog shape attached into the middle. So you can kind of try to duplicate that shape, or draw kind of another blobby type shape on the back. I don't think there's any specific markings that this spider has, except for it's just lighter brown markings. And then same thing for the abdomen. It had kind of a long, skinny thing with some arms kind of branching out. Not arms, but blobs branching out. So draw the markings on the back of your spider and use the reference image to kind of decide what to draw. So I'm happy with this outline. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to outline it with my marker or my pen or whatever material you have available. So I'm going to fast forward through that part as I outline my spider. Fortunately, my camera, I didn't get the footage of myself doing the next step. But after I was done outlining, I colored in my spider using a light brown. And now what I am doing here is so you know how we had spent a lot of time drawing the markings on the spider's back? So I colored the whole spider brown, and now I'm using a darker brown to kind of just color around the markings so that the markings will be light brown and the spider's body itself will be darker brown. Okay, if you have access to just pencil crayons, then you can just color in the markings a lighter brown and color the rest of the spider's body a darker brown. But this is the way that I chose to do this to make it look kind of like more as much like the picture that I can. So I'm just going to continue to color the whole spider's body, not the legs, just the body, using this darker brown color, going all around those markings that we drew on the back. So let's fast forward. Alright, so now I am going to do some shading around the body. So I took a darker color of brown, even darker than the one I used for the body. And I'm just going to draw a little outline in darker brown around the spider's abdomen and up top above the abdomen as well. I'm gonna go and do kind of like a little outline of a dark brown. And if you only have access to pencil crayons, you can still do this. You can layer your pencil crayons. I also decided to do kind of like a stripe of dark brown, just a stripe, not coloring the whole leg, but maybe coloring about half of the leg with a dark brown, because then it looks kind of like a shadow on the bottom of the leg. And we're gonna do another cool trick with shadow. But this actually makes it look very three-dimensional. Looks like a real spider. It's really creepy. So we'll fast forward as I keep doing the brown outline, the brown shadow outline for my spider. So I've done the shadows. Now I'm gonna do that art trick that we talked about in the last couple videos. I'm taking the white pencil crayon, if you have one, and I'm just doing a little stripe, just a little line of white on certain parts. So not in the part where I did the shadow on the leg. I did that on the white stripe goes on the other side of the leg. Okay, and then I did a couple little white dots on the eyes, and then just a little bit of white on the spider's abdomen there to make it look like it's a round shape popping out of the paper. So there we go. So you can definitely, this is awesome. Leave it here if you like, but there's another cool trick that you can do with shading that kind of make the spider, it will make the spider maybe look like it's actually real and it's resting on the paper. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I took my pencil, or you could use a gray pencil crayon or a gray marker. I'm going to just use my pencil, and I'm doing a shadow. I'm drawing a shadow, which is kind of just like a stripe of gray that I'm coloring in with my pencil around the spider's body. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And I'm not pressing really hard. I'm just doing kind of a light gray. And then because I use pencil, I can rub that in with my finger, and it kind of blends it in with the paper a little bit. So I'm going to do that around the body. I did that around kind of where the legs are coming out as well, and smudge it with my finger. And then this is the really cool part. So I'm going to take my pencil, and from the tip of the leg, I just picked a random leg, I'm going to draw a line. So it's not attached to the leg. I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to kind of make it a little bit of a thicker line by using my pencil to go back and forth and make it into a bit of a thicker line. So it's branching from the spider's leg, the tip of its leg, back into the body. And so it's kind of like it's a shadow from the legs. So this stage is definitely optional, but I do think it's kind of cool. You can make it look really realistic. Alright, so hopefully you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing there. Hopefully you get the idea of how to make that shadow. I'm going to speed through the rest of the legs. And let's look at the final product. Whoa, it's a real spider. Watch out. I'm just kidding. I can't wait to see your spider artwork. And thanks for watching.